Hello Guardian, I hope this video finds you well. With all the recent changes, many Guardians ask the question, how can I survive in a new Well of Radiance post nerfs? With all the changes, Well of Radiance now gives you less healing and less damage resistance, coming from a 40% DR to just 10% against bosses. In this whole article, Bungie stated a bunch of changes to abilities in general, mostly this Well of Radiance changes, that's the main topic of our video today, and as well a bunch of stasis changes. So I've been cooking some strategies with my day one team since the article dropped, and the most cook I've done was on 29th of May, where I decided to list a bunch of stuff you can do and even more. I'll just cover some of the main ones as the others are too specific and have too much effort for what they do, but there are two main ones that you should really consider using, which is just Stasis Hunter Duskfield Grenade on top of the well, and you can also have another Warlock popping Song of Flame new super on Solar or Prismatic. Now I'll just list some other options just so you know. Titan Woven Mail and Banner, active damage resistance from melees on all three characters, and there's a dodge that also gives that. I believe it's on Stasis Hunter, so another incentive for that. Bubble Behind Well from Void Titan to give some overshield. Sentinel Shield Wall. Any other. Arc or Prismatic Hunter. You most likely have an Arc Gathering Storm super to jolt the boss. So may as well have the thing where you consume your dodge to give Amplify to the whole team, which because of the artifact perk will also give damage resistance to the whole team and a little bit of DPS with Amplified on the rotations. But I think all that stuff and all the others we've cooked is just too much effort to set up and heavily depends on encounter profile, lead density, a bunch of other stuff, if you have time or not to juggle things and have it instantly when DPS starts to have everyone ready to max output damage on the boss. So TLDR, I think most stuff is just niche, and the two best options is just Hunter with Duskfield. So Warlock pops the well, Hunter pops the Duskfield in the middle of it, and everyone is good to go. Now there's only one small problem. You will gain a buff called Frost Armor, which will stack over time. For the first few seconds you may still die as it gives low resistance, but when it fully stacks up, and then it will always be maximum for the whole duration, because Hunter will be receiving more and more grenades over time and will just be reprocking, so you are always at max stacks and it never ends. It will even stay if the well ends, so that's good. That's a good thing to know. But for the first few seconds and until the Frost Armor scales up, you can just have another Warlock pressing a Song of Flame, so you gain instant damage resistance and you're good to go. So the realistic scenario is just Warlock pops well, the other Warlock pops Song, and the Hunter pops Duskfield. 3 clicks. Bam bam bam. You are good to go, maybe even immortal. After some seconds, Frost Armor stacks up to the maximum, 5 or 8 stacks, and then Hunter just keeps reprocking Duskfields. You never lose it, it's always max stacked, and you're good to go, even after the well ends. So that's the best scenario. Frost Armor, just so you know, gives about 24 or 20 something% damage resistance to the whole team, and to the user himself or any other stasis users 36% with full stacks. Also you have Impetus Fragment to help you DPS, the other fragments to regen grenade. Your super will give you your dodge back. You should use a reload dodge to reload your weapons. So ideally you will have Star Eater scales to have a maximum super, and don't sleep on Stasis Hunter super, because with all these changes it now deals a bunch of damage because shader effect itself deals like double, so the overall total damage of the Stasis Hunter Super will compete with many of the best options out there. It's really good. We also have the artifact where if you darkness debuff, some light fangs will do more damage, so that's good. You either have a person with prismatic to debuff with melees and grenades, or a stasis hunter for that job. So one more reason to have it. You basically throw the super with star eaters, throw the grenade on the well, then damage starts, and then you may or not swap to lucky pants and do your DPS rotations as normal. Still regarding that one, don't sleep on void weapons. Get good void weapons for every type of situation, because there's this thing where if the enemy is weakened or void debuffed, void sources will deal more damage. So for example, the Void Nova Super from Warlock, either of the supers, but I prefer the slow one, either on Void or Prismatic, and even on Prismatic you have some other things that will buff it even further because of using that class. But regardless, I digress, that super will deal so much damage. Aside from that, regarding weapons, everyone knows what's good, like snipers, shotguns, GL fusions, all the good heavies, some exotics for some specific situations. As for primaries in a day one scenario, there are just 3 archetypes I will recommend: pulse rifles, hand cannons, and maybe auto rifles with all the new changes. You have these new supportive frames that heal and deal good throughput damage, and also the new exotic. So TLDR, pulse, hand cannon, maybe auto rifle. Void weapons, void insta supers, stack Song of Flame, Warlock Super, or Stasis Hunter Duskfield on top of the well to survive, and it's that. Good luck on your day one, and as always, take care of yourself, Guardian, because you are worth it.